Good evening, everybody. I appreciate you all coming here for our press opportunity at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. It's going to be a great week of wrestling here in Oklahoma with Hall of Fame Honors Week going on the next 2 days here in Stillwater, and then we'll be following that up with the U.S. World Team Trials in Oklahoma City on Friday and Saturday at the Cox Convention Center. It's a lot of fun for us at USA Wrestling to be working with our partners at the Hall of Fame on promoting the sport of wrestling. But in regards to today's press conference, we're going to start with a conversation about a new initiative, a campaign coming here from the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. It's very exciting for us in wrestling to all work together to try to expand and improve what we're doing within the sport. So we have two guests. I'm going to ask each of them one question. I have them talk a little bit, and then we'll open up for a little bit of a question and answer on this topic. So I first would like to introduce Leroy Smith, the Executive Director of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's immediately to my left. And Leroy, could you talk a little bit about the goals of the campaign that you guys are going to be launching today and moving forward for the next months ahead?
Sure, Gary. Several years ago, the National Wrestling Hall of Fame Board of Governors undertook a strategic plan, long-range strategic plan that would advance the mission of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame well into the 21st century. And the top priority of that strategic plan was to conduct a campaign that would renovate our museum, our Hall of Fame and museum here in Stillwater in such a way that would expand our outreach capabilities. And that's what these initiatives we have in this campaign are going to do for us, the priorities of this campaign. The renovation is priority one. Number two is we now have a museum also under the National Wrestling Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa. And we hope number three we'll get to soon is Initiative 3 is a mobile museum, a 52-foot mobile museum. And Initiative 4 are digital enhancements, which will be incorporated on the front end with Initiative 1 as well. And so we're very excited about what these initiatives will do. They will reach over 3 million people annually, whereas right now we're reaching maybe 100,000 plus a year. So this is going to be a tremendous and tremendously exciting expansion, if you will, of awareness for not only the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, but its mission of preserving history and recognizing excellence and inspiring future generations. And that is important because we want to take our history and perpetuate not only the past but the future of the sport. And that's why this campaign is geared to inspire future generations.
Thanks, Leroy. I appreciate that. I'm going to also introduce Stan Ziemer, who serves on the Hall of Fame Board of Governors, and Stan's one of the leaders for this campaign. And I'd like to ask him to talk a little bit about how the funding is going right now as far as this initiative and what your goals and expectations are in regards to that topic.
Well, Gary, first of all, I'm honored to have been selected to head up this capital campaign, $6 million. Right now, we are off to a great start. Phase 1 is a $3.4 million, and we are at 2.2 right now. So we're well over 50%, and this is for the phase 1, and that's why we're having this press conference to celebrate our early success and go public and keep building momentum, because we have a lot of momentum going right now.
Now, Leroy, this would be considered the official launch of the public phase of the first initiative. Is that where we are with the overall project right now?
Yes, that's correct. We hope to get and reach our funding initiative, the $3.4 million for the renovation in Stillwater, by this fall, certainly by the end of the year. We're on track to do that and begin the breaking ground next year. And so when I say breaking ground, a renovation, you don't break a lot of ground. It's mainly gutting this place, the interior. And what we're talking about, most of the funding is going to interactive displays, interactive exhibits that will use a lot of digital equipment to tell our story. We have a wealth of memorabilia and artifacts, probably more Olympic memorabilia and artifacts than any museum in the United States here at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, and we just need to bring it to life through modern technology, through new media. So we're going to package the story of wrestling with new media so that in its history, so that it's relevant to future generations.
Now I'd like to open up for some questions. If anyone has a specific question for either Leroy or Stan, please go ahead.
Well, for both of you guys, actually, you got a $350 million stadium right over here. They're building $400 million worth of stuff right over here, and you're still here. Is this an indication that you're staying here, that there's, I mean, everywhere you look around here, they're building millions of dollars worth of athletic.
It's a good indication, and I believe the athletic director, Mike Holder, and President Burns Hargis have sent strong, had strong conversation with them that they want this facility here. They appreciate what it represents and the authenticity that the sport of wrestling has in this area, as well as what it represents to the country.
Stan?
I think what's important is that not only our outreach program will reach youth, but we're reconnecting people who wrestled, had a background in wrestling, and then they, for whatever reason, got away from it, and now we're reconnecting them. So that's as important as the inspiration and inspiring young student athletes to follow the footsteps of our outstanding Americans and champions.
Stan, is it important to you that it stays where it is?
Yes, it is. Yes, it has its roots here, and I think the model now that and the strategy with the Waterloo, Dan Gable Waterloo Museum. Let's hope that this works out, and there can be another satellite on the East Coast.
So you would hope that perhaps somewhere down the line, if financing, you could have another spot somewhere on the East Coast.
Correct, because that again will promote our sport, influence generations to come, and allow many more people, because that's where the population is, on the East Coast, so that would help.
And the strategy with our mobile museum, in fact, does the same thing. It takes it to the people. It takes it to the population. So we've really given it careful consideration that we want a great landmark here. It's a shrine, and will always be the shrine. We will have satellites, and we will take it to the people.
Another question?
You mentioned the renovations of this specific building. Do you know, are you guys going to shut it down completely to the public, or just do it piece by piece?
The architects, we haven't got a final schematic yet for the renovation, but they indicate that they can work in different parts where we're never shut down at once.
Have they given you an idea of how long they believe it would take to do the thing?
Once they break ground
Right.
and start the renovation, less than 12 months. 8 to 12 months.
Scott?
So nothing over 12 months?
No.
Okay. You're at what now? What's your dollar figure at right now?
We're at 2.3 million
Okay, of 3.5?
of 3.4.
3.4. How do you get from here to there? I mean, that's quite a jump.
Well, we have a number of, we're working with a consulting firm, 776 Marketing. We have a number of strategies to do that with foundations, corporations, and individuals.
So it's a big,
And
big picture.
Yeah, and in fact, we have in our pipeline those funders already that we are cultivating. It's only a matter of time to solicit those in due time.
we have people that have committed verbally but have not signed a pledge, so we know where $500,000 would be at this point. And then we have a state chapter program that when they set off to do it, there's another $500,000 roughly.
It's pretty exciting.
It is exciting. It's great support, great momentum.
Is this the biggest project you guys have undertaken since they built this, or was that, when they did the wing, that didn't cost that much, did it, or did it? I don't remember.
It was, give or take, $1 million.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it was
So
shy
this is
of
the
there.
biggest
It was
project you've tried?
in '76, I think it was $750 or $750K to build the National Wrestling Hall of Fame and Museum. And at that time, it was also the national governing body for the sport of wrestling. Well, in the mid-'80s, they moved to Colorado Springs to be close to their funding source, the United States Olympic Committee, one of their funding sources, and other NGBs. And we then in the 90s expanded out in about 96. We built on what we refer to as the enshrinement area of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, the John Bond Hall of Honors. And that was roughly 1 million. It was no more than 1.5, but I think it was closer to 1 million that took care of that addition. And again, most of the money that we're going to raise will be going to the interior. We'll do some work on the exterior and the physical, but most of it is going to have to do with the visitor experience and making it very interactive, and it will have some wow factor to it.
Other questions on the campaign or on the building or on the goals of this?
How important is it philosophically that Iowa and Oklahoma, Smith and Gable, are working together to promote the sport?
Well, I think that was one of the real incentives and benefits of our asset purchase agreement with the Dan Gable Museum in Waterloo, was that these are two states that, when you look at authenticity and you look at tradition, heritage, they have the wealth of it as far as collegiate wrestling goes, and so they do represent the sport's heritage in a significant way. That's number one. But just to have Dan Gable, one of the most notarized, famous legends in the sport of wrestling, working together with the National Wrestling Hall of Fame is a no-brainer. And so we're all pulling in the same direction. We're unifying. To see these two rivalry states unify to put wrestling first is very important.
That's awesome.
Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to take about a 3-minute break and bring in our guys from the USA
Thank you.
Wrestling Group.